Hello, Lylers, Lyle listeners, Lylians, what should we call you? Welcome to the Lyle podcast. This is Elle, your host. I'm super excited just to be sharing some of my thoughts with you. I don't want to give an overview because we'll miss some nuance. Let's just get into it. So glad you're here. Hi there. I don't think I've ever talked about this publicly. If I have, maybe I've written about it, but I don't think so. It's pretty new and emerging, and it's also blended, melded, evolved from something that's been going on for a long time, which is, of course, like how life is, that we keep coming around the same thing, but learning more and deepening. So it's like the same thing that I've been progressing with as my just journey of selfhood, and part of my selfhood is somebody that heals other people, and I can only heal people as much as I'm healed. So I live a life committed to living my healthiest life so that you can live your healthiest life. And that's all fine. That doesn't feel particularly, but I'm nervous because that doesn't feel particularly vulnerable to say. It just feels true. But what I'm going to share next feels much more vulnerable to share. And that's because it is vulnerable to share. And I am much more vulnerable than most people I meet, which makes it hard to have connections with people. And so when you find somebody that's as vulnerable as you or more vulnerable than you, it just really is like a lifeline. Helps you feel less alone. And that's not quite what I want this video to be at, but everything's connected. So I share that, and that's scary to share because I feel like I'm open for judgment with that, especially from people that aren't very vulnerable. So if you do find judgment about what I'm saying rising up in you, I would encourage you to think about why. First off, identify that they are judgments versus fact. And anything I say out loud like this is something that I need to learn too. So that's the whole part of the healing journey, is that we've got to heal the things so that we can heal others. So a lot of times, like things that people talk about are the things that they struggle with. It's the things that occupy them. And so they share about that. So today I'm sitting just in my rocking chair here, and I was doing some journaling. This is a day off for me, and I will do a long run later today, hoping for 9 or 10 miles in the mountains. And the go, go, go of society would tell me to do that right away at the beginning of the day. It's in my brain. I have to wrestle with that part of my brain and that programming that tells me not to listen to my body. But my body said, wait, stay here, go slow, keep the shades drawn, keep the eyes closed. Okay, get up, go slow. It told me just take it really easy I don't even know. I didn't set a timer. I stretched, I don't know, it could have easily been like 45 minutes. I don't know. Could have been 15 minutes. But I was just really present in the moment and just kept stretching what my body needed it to do. And a lot of it is this area up here, an area that I feel. So right now I feel the back side of my neck, down my shoulder blade. And I'm starting to map out like my trapezius when I think of, where it is. But my body, as I say that, my body's like, no. Actually, it's not the trapezius because but it's the paravertebral muscles, so the muscles along my spine. And this is a new sensation that I've been from what I've been experiencing. So I'm experiencing right now in real time something that I've never paid attention to before. And so, yeah, I thought trapezius, but no, it's just really like a rod up and down from like lower mid cervical spine with some whispers all the way up to my suboccipitals and the back of my skull. And then down, and I'm not breathing. I mean, I'm breathing, but I'm not breathing right. I'm all up here in my chest. You can even see my shoulders like up high, and I'm not moving and not fluid. It's because I'm feeling emotion right now. And the emotion that's associated with that, and I didn't say how low it goes down to. It goes down to probably the rib 9 or 10. And the drive, it feels so strong when that happens that it makes me kind of want to writhe and stretch and try to crack my neck, and it did crack there. So it's not, this emotion actually physically is manifesting. There's like a compression. Okay, so the paravertebral muscles, and again, this is all happening in real time, but I'm having this emotion, and the physical sensation is this rod up and down, but this rod is, it's a line, so it can't be a rod because there's some dynamism. It feels like a bungee cord is hooked up above and down below, and it's just it feels like the muscle is pulling down in, which is one of the actions of that muscle. And that makes my body, there's implications for that in my body. The rest of my body then is having to work to counteract that. So I'm going to try to find my breath. So, and you can put hand on chest, hand on belly. I'm just closing my eyes. That's helping me focus. That's another trick because we're very vision dominant. I'm just talking. I'm just all up in my chest. So I'm going to try to get my breath down low. I got into my belly, but I didn't get it all the way down to my pelvic floor. There's a synergy between the pelvic floor and the diaphragm. They do the same thing. There we go. So diaphragm is lowering as I breathe in. So that emotion, which I've never identified in my body before, probably because for much of my life I didn't spend time to pay attention to the particular emotions. And emotions are an output. And I'll link this to pain because pain is an output. That's like a whole another like kind of teaching training session, conversation. The link between those two as outputs, but emotion is, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm happy, I'm scared. Those are like some of the top emotions that we have. Our society has trained us to be aware of, or to be able to label. But there's so much. There's difference between anxious and scared and frightened and nervous and excited and giddy and uncertain and ashamed and grieving. I felt that earlier today, grieving. Just even saying that, and because I'm being present, I could feel it down a line. So grieving, what I'm grieving today is, so imagine we had that bungee cord of my right side paravertebral muscles pulling down. Now this is off from that lower bungee down that rib. So I don't know, we're talking about like rib a 9-ish, I would say. And that's an area that's like chronically tight for me. The intercostals there are holding down the rib. Like if I try to roll out, something like that, that area is always going to feel limited. I'm talking in my chest, right? So talking about this is so hard. And so notice when we feel emotions often our breathing changes, and that breathing change is a stress response. So I'm having a stress response, and that's activating stress hormones in my body, cortisol, things like that. But if I can activate my diaphragmatic breath, I'm doing the parasympathetic system, which is more our rest and our digest and our healing hormones. You know, it's more like steady state. So today is like a rest day. That's what I feel like I need. So yeah, on a day where I feel like I need to rest, I need to work to rest as deeply as I can. And as I rest more deeply, I notice that these emotions that have been just up in our head, they're actually in our body. And so that's why you need to, like they say, like feel an emotion or like let it through. So the way through is to actually link between what do you feel in your body and with that pain. And this is with a chronic pain, okay? So if you're trying to get rid of chronic pain, persistent pain that won't go away, it's nagging, you need, especially if you've done physical therapy, okay? So these are the people that have done physical therapy, they've followed through, and they're still persisting with these kind of symptoms. We really need to know that then the brain has changed a lot. And so part of the therapy then is to work on the brain. Now, the brain is, I mean, there's so much we can go into. Well, I'll say it. The brain is what holds muscles tight. So I'm breathing in my chest. I need to slow down. And now the emotion that's driving me is this right-sided. It's kind of like like I have a backpack strap on that's coming around. It's almost kind of going around. And that is an energy of forward go, which is interesting. It's like a harness. I want to pull into that harness and go. I'm excited. I've gotten past. So what I was feeling earlier, which I didn't describe, was that bungee cord. That was like the vulnerability of being seen. So when I have that pain up and down my back right there, that's me being vulnerable of showing up in the world as who I am. And talking about it's brought it back, okay? But I'm going to tell my body it's okay. I'm using my body to tell my mind so that it can come back and tell my body, okay? So I'm using my mind to control my body, to control my mind, to control my body. And that is the process of neuroplasticity, of practicing, of trying something new. So this is the first video where I'm really bringing together the healing work that I've done for so long with my current knowledge. I do it in my practice with patients. I have a vision for healing sessions, and you can come see me for that, where we are going to link up this Western medicine with what we're learning about emotions and trauma stored in the body. And so we have to bring those in if we're going to get somebody fully better. And as a physical therapist, I think I'm really well positioned for this because part of the physical therapy education is and I do see this. What is that? So I'm tipping my head back, and this is so the stronger I get on the front is going to help. The more I practice, but on the back, yeah. And there's like a stretching in my neck. This is a feeling of I want to hide. So right now, yeah, it's like I want to hide. So I got back into a vulnerable place, and that made me want to round down and stick out. So my chest is now caved in. Versus, okay. So, and then I'm like, again, so emotion, and it's causing this physical thing. So if you're having these movement patterns that you can't get out of, we need to reset your brain. This is neuroplasticity. This is that you can teach an old dog new tricks. It's that the brain is not static. We're always progressing or regressing. We're always changing. In life, we are always changing. And so that has allowed me, in very good faith, to be a physical therapist for nearly 20 years and it's led me to the kind of work that I do, that I don't work in an insurance model. I don't base outcomes on how little time that it took. Like, it's in the training, it's in marketing for physical therapy clinics, that if you are getting somebody, if you're good at what you do, you're getting them out of there fast. And this is such a disservice for like 100% of people, because the helping that we were doing was truncated. So part of why I didn't get people out as fast is because, like, I took the time to have conversations, I took the time to educate, and I asked what their goals were, and we had a ways to go, and I knew that I was the expert in this area. I knew that they needed me in their life, and I couldn't just say, okay, well, we got you over the hump of the major levels of your dysfunction, your difficulty moving, and the major levels of your pain or your weakness. But really, like, this is my specialty. I need to be available to you so that you can live your best life, not just like wait till things are so shitty, so shitty in your life, they come see us. But there should be some understanding that I'm a healer, so I want to heal all of you. And, more likely than not, we need to have a lifetime relationship. I need to be like your local healer. And there'll be times where you need to see me more often, and there's times you'll need to see me less. But you're always going to have that resource. And then there is this best practice of having check-ins. I feel good, but can I have a check-in and see how I'm doing, so that I catch things before they become really problematic. And that is neuroplasticity, but that's like a volitional neuroplasticity where you're kind of meta and outside of yourself, and you see yourself and you say that you want to be a different person. Like, that you want to be a better version of yourself. Just breathe. Yeah. Okay. See, you see that chest breath? You can see how it's rising up here. And people will think, deep breath. I did it. I did it. No, I'm not doing it. I'm still in survival mode right now. I'm still feeling stressed. So, okay, I just got it into the top of my belly. Okay. Just got a little bit into the pelvic floor. Got a pretty good belly one, but not into the pelvic floor. Okay, so pelvic floor. So you need to feel that pelvic floor moving like right away as the breath comes in. It's not that the breath comes in and then it goes when it gets to floor. There's a synergy. The timing should be in sync with each breath. But if we've been practicing like this chest breathing, this holding tight, this is a very important part of pelvic floor functioning. And the pelvic floor is very important for back pain, which is like the number one thing that people come to see physical therapists for. Hey, so that's our resident stress ball in the house. Hey. And sometimes it's too much. I can't buffer his stress, but he is also capable of change. And so before his breakfast this morning, we went on a training walk, even though he's 6, okay? You can teach an old dog new tricks. So he's 6, and he was found on the streets, and we don't know what happened, and got him kind of later in life. And so he's had some experiences that make him nervous. He's super vigilant for sounds, and that's what just happened. Even though we're just sitting chilling. Do you want to see him? Okay, 1, 2, 3. There they are. There they are. Pretty awesome, huh? Thanks for letting me share this with you. What I'm modeling here is, and I'm so excited to share it with you because I think this can really change the world. So, and now I'm feeling excitement as I say that, which is a different kind of tightness and buzzing, tightness across my back. There's kind of like this readiness to move and go, but that's actually excitement. But I feel it as pain. And that happens a lot. If we don't know what's happening, we don't know that, oh, that's excitement. All I feel is the back pain. But it's really my body's kind of desire and readiness to go. But I'm up here breathing. You can hear me. That was a both breath. Belly breath. So anytime our chest is moving, it's a stress state, okay? And there's kind of good stress and bad stress. So if we're only breathing in our chest, we're very close to hyperventilating. We just, it's not technically hyperventilating because, that's hypervent. Oh, and you get dizzy doing that. It's not effective. It's not functional. Oof, and when do we do that? When we're crazy panicked. So it's a continuum. So we need to get our breath back for everything, for every fucking thing, okay? We've got to... Okay, that was a good... my pelvic floor is kind of coming along, okay? That it's opening right away, even when I'm not breathing that deep. Because I'm still struggling to get my breath down there. But at least it knows that when it is on, it's part of the function. So what I'm demonstrating for you is that this chronic pain that I have in my, we say right upper quarter, neck, shoulder, chest, ribs in the back because they go around, right? So rib, chest muscles, back muscles, shoulder blade, which is just held on there by a bunch of just muscles and so much time. So anything that's going to set off the timing. So dysfunctioned breathing is absolutely going to F up your shoulder blades. Do you have a very flat thoracic spine? We've got some breathing issues. Do your ribs flare? We got some breathing issues. Do they flare asymmetrically? Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I'll probably be putting more things like this out, but because there's invitation there, but they've got to deal with my body's the speed with which it can do the speed I can do it at. So and I'm really unmasked from my neurodivergence right now, and I want to be there and stay there more of the time, but it takes a lot of energy because there's not a lot of safe spaces for that. There's not a lot of safe spaces for neurodivergent people to unmask, especially women. And so part of me being my healthiest self is, I'm going to physical therapy for this. I have for a number of years. I journal, I meditate, do saunas and cold water exposure. I do some box breathing. I do just belly breathing. I have a mobility routine that's very oriented by mindfulness and presence. And just in the last month or two, I've been able to, it feels like a leveling up in the capacity to heal myself. I'm noticing these emotions more and then noticing how they present in my body. But what I have to do is I kind of have to stop and notice that I'm fidgeting, I'm having this pain, I'm having this resistance to this intense sensation in my body. And instead of resisting it, I have to let go of that desire to eliminate the discomfort and the pain from my life, and I need to be curious about it. Pain is always telling you something. It's your body's way of communicating to you that something needs attention. And it's not even always a sign of injury. It's a sign of threat in your body. So pain is an output. Your body makes the decision to label something as painful. And so people have different experiences of pain. They can have the same injuries or traumas or experiences, and then some won't have pain, some will have different descriptions or intensities or durations of the pain. But if you're having a pain that's not going away, so think of me doing physical therapy for several years, but this is something that used to be worse. I used to get like headaches and have more neck pain. And then over time, it's become, as I became a better healer and took care of my body better, and posture, mobility, and strength, and awareness of behaviors, which is things like posture, but it's also tasks that I do, how long I sit, how long I'll work, how many breaks I'll take, and it's also the exercise activities that I'll decide to do, and the intensity that I decide to do them, and how much rest I take, and all these kind of things. So thanks so much for watching and listening. I am here as a resource for you to live your healthiest life. I'm here as a pain coach, I'm here as a movement coach, and I'm here as a life coach, and I'm here just as a cheerleader for you in life. I'm here to cheerlead you in living an authentic life, in living creative and artistic pursuits as well, and having a healthy relationship to yourself and to the people around you, to live integratedly, and encouraging and empowering people to do that from a contemplative perspective. So thanks so much. Have a great day. May you always see the blessing. Thanks for listening to this episode of the LYHL podcast. I'm so glad you're here. If you liked what you heard, you can find me on Instagram and YouTube at the Elle, as well as on my website, www.theellebetrell.com. Of course, you can find me back here at the next episode of the LYHL podcast. There's numerous ways to support my work so I can keep helping you live your healthiest life. You can do this financially via links on my website or the show notes, by subscribing to the podcast and YouTube channels, by joining my newsletter community, aptly named the LYHL newsletter, by rating the podcast, by sharing with others, those you meet, and participating in coaching sessions. It's my passion to help you live your healthiest life. I'm so glad you're here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you're learning and the insights you're gaining from these conversations. May you always see the blessing.